My fellow colleagues, a war for the future of our profession is upon us. For years, we, the scientists, the visionaries who have made the greatest strides for mankind, have been forced to abide by the rules of the weak and of the small and of the fearful. We've played their game, unable to unlock our full potential. But I say no longer. No longer shall we be constrained and let our talents wither at their feet. No longer shall we work and bleed and die for their futile causes. Gentlemen, I am Andrew Ryan, and I'd like to ask you a question.
Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says the man in Washington, it belongs to the poor. No, says the man in the Vatican, it belongs to God. No, says the man in Moscow, it belongs to everyone. I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose rapture. Sitting where the artist would not fear the censor.
An artist strives to frame his ideals in an image, to challenge his audience and make his vision immortal. But the parasites say, no, your art must serve the cause. Your ideals endanger the people.
The scientist would not be bound by petty morality.
On the surface, the scientist invests the power of his mind in a single miraculous idea and naturally begins to rise above his fellows. But the parasites say no. Discovery must be regulated. It must be controlled. And finally, surrender.
Where the great would not be constrained by the small.
On the surface, your parents sought a private life, using their great talents to provide for you. They learned to twist the lies of church and government, believing themselves masters of the system. But the parasites said, no, the child has a duty. He will go to war and die for the nation.
And with the sweat of your brow, rapture can become your city as well.
On the surface, the farmer tills the soil, trading the strength of his arm for a home and lands of his own. But the parasites say no. What was yours is ours. We are the state. We are God. We demand our share.
What is the greatest lie ever created? What is the most vicious obscenity ever perpetrated on mankind? Slavery, the Holocaust, dictatorship. No. It's the tool with which all that wickedness is built. Altruism. Whenever anyone wants others to do their work, they call upon their altruism. Never mind your own needs, they say. Think of the needs of whoever. Of the state, of the poor, of the army, of the king, of God. The list goes on and on. How many catastrophes were launched with the words, think of yourself? It's the king and country crowd who light the torch of destruction. It is this great inversion, this ancient lie, which has chained humanity to an endless cycle of guilt and failure. My journey to rapture was my second exodus. In 1919, I fled a country that had been traded in despotism for insanity. The Marxist revolution simply traded one lie for another. Instead of one man, the Tsar, owning the work of all the people owned the work of all of the people. And so, I came to America, where a man could own his own work where a man could benefit from the brilliance of his own mind, the strength of his own muscles, the might of his own will. I had thought I had left the parasites of Moscow behind me. I had thought I had left the Marxist altruists to their collective farms and their 5-year plans. But as the German fools threw themselves on Hitler's sword for the good of the Reich, the Americans drank deeper and deeper of the Bolshevik poison, spoon-fed to them by Roosevelt and his New Deals. And so, I asked myself, in what country was there a place for men like me? Men who refused to say yes to the parasites and the doubters. Men who believed that work was sacred and property rights inviolate. And then, one day, the happy answer came to me, my friends. There was no country for people like me. And that was the moment I decided to build one.